Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here at the University of Nicosia Medical School. Today's class is called How to Manage Stress. So we welcome all of you to join us. We will be speaking for the next hour about stress management. My name is Maria Cecilia Mosquera. I am a clinical assistant professor at the Department of Primary Care and Population Health at the University of Nicosia Medical School. I am a pediatrician and a public health preventive medicine physician who is certified in preventive medicine and in diplomat of the American Board of Obesity Medicine. So I welcome all of you today. For today's session, we will be doing some exercises. This will not just be a talk. So please think about safety first. Make sure that you have enough space today for the small exercises that we will be doing. We won't be doing a large amount of physical activity, but make sure that you have space around you. Be aware of your surroundings and participate only in what your body can handle, please. We will also be doing an exercise where it might be helpful for you to have a chair and also a pen or pencil and some paper. This video that you're watching today is live, but it will also be recorded and saved and will be immediately accessible after the video finishes. So you can refer to it whenever you like afterwards to access the links and resources to which I refer. The reason that we're talking today about stress and stress management is probably very obvious to all of you, but everyone in the world is being affected by COVID-19, coronavirus. And you may have seen images like these in person or on the media, where much of what we've been talking about is masks, hand washing, keeping your distance, lockdown, quarantine. This has been affecting much of the world, including us here in Cyprus. So with all of us being affected by coronavirus, you may have two different types of feelings about this. There may be positive feelings and negative feelings. You may feel thankful for your own health, for the health of your family, your loved ones, for the time potentially that you might have been given if you were locked down to spend with family or to do things that you needed to do at home. But you might also have been stressed, worried, frustrated, and even exhausted. Because of this, the University of Nicosia Medical School and the Department of Health and Life Sciences in April 2020 invited adults residing in Cyprus to participate in a study that aimed to see how lifestyle habits changed between February 2020 and the time when Cyprus was in lockdown, which is between March, April, and May 2020. So in this particular study, we asked about various different parts of lifestyle, one of which was stress. We asked about perceived stress, which included many different parts. So how did people feel about the stress in their lives? Were they angered? Did they have feelings of nervousness or feeling stressed? Did they feel like they were unable to control things? Were they feeling upset? Were they feeling like they could effectively cope or they could control irritations in their life? Or did they feel confident in handling? So many different questions were asked related to stress with an instrument that's called the PSS-14. Looking at the results specifically around stress of all the participants who responded to our study, we noted that people perceived more stress in their lives during the time that Cyprus was in lockdown than in February 2020. For example, more people felt nervous and stressed or felt they were unable to control the important things in their lives. This is probably not surprising to you all, but because of the preliminary studies of the results during the time of lockdown, we actually at the University of Nicosia Medical School, along with some of our partner departments and other partners in the community, started having activities to help with stress and other aspects of lifestyle. You see some dance activities here with the Department of Music and Dance at the University of Nicosia. You see yoga classes with the High Commission of India, Mr. Gaurav Roha. You see tools to succeed in quitting smoking with Dr. Ferreira here at the University of Nicosia in psychology. And you also see a Philology for Seniors class with one of our community partners called A to Z Physio Health. So we looked at the results and we tried to use the results to develop activities that can help people with their lifestyle. So at this point, now in July, the lockdown measures have been released in Cyprus. So we are no longer in full lockdown like we were before. Does that mean that stress is gone? You tell me. How are you feeling about your life? For people around me, around us in Cyprus or in other parts of the world, there is still stress there. Everyday life has stresses that come with it, whether you're working, a student, whether you have family, whether you live alone, wherever you are, you have daily stresses in life. And in actuality, there are probably many people for whom the stresses of COVID and coronavirus in Cyprus and beyond have not ended. There may be financial concerns and worries. There may be people that are concerned about the health of their family or their friends. You probably still see on the news COVID every day, whenever you turn on the channel. There are concerns and questions for those that are planning to reopen schools, for parents who are trying to deal with the summertime, and not concerns about what they do with their children. Do they send them to camp? Do they hire a babysitter? Many concerns that are related to COVID on top of the daily concerns of life. So that's why we're talking today about how to manage stress, because most of us are not sitting here looking at a beautiful sight in the world with nothing to do, like you see in this picture. We have concerns and worries, and it's helpful to know how to deal with them. So today we'll be talking about stress. We'll be talking about how you develop SMART goals for stress management, and I'll be demonstrating 5 techniques that can be used to help you manage stress. And those are the exercises that I was referring to. So the first half will be talking, and the latter half will be doing some exercises. So first, why are we talking about stress? So in lifestyle medicine, there are 6 important parts of life. One is healthful eating, one is physical activity, avoiding risky substances, improving your sleep, forming and maintaining relationships, and the 6th one is managing stress. So it's very important for life. And why is that? So for the importance of health, which includes obviously mental health, the World Health Organization states that a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and peacefully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. That's the meaning of mental health. So how we handle stress is an important part of our mental well-being. And we have to recognize that there are good stresses and there are bad stresses. So not all stress is bad for us. Some stress can be helpful. An example, if you're a student and you're trying to study for exams, having a little bit of stress can be helpful in keeping you on task, as well as if you're working on a project deadline or trying to accomplish a challenge, like trying to join the Olympics. But negative stress can cause things such as anxiety, decreased performance, and it can lead to poor mental and physical health. So if you think about it, not only in our personal lives, but in our work lives, stress can affect us. And the things at work that can affect how we feel, how we react, and what our level of stress is include poor work organization, the design of your work environment, the leadership and management, as well as the conditions in which you work, and the support that you receive. So during this coronavirus time period, there are many people that on top of their regular daily work environment are added the natural stressors that include trying to deal with a pandemic. So the things that I've just mentioned about the work environment are out of an individual's control, possibly, and that can be frustrating. And because of that, we have the impacts of stress in our own internal life. So having stress in your life can lead you to develop unhealthy lifestyle habits, such as making poor diet choices and smoking or using other risky substances. Stress can affect your sleep. It can increase your risk of heart disease. And in the work environment, severe job stressors have been associated with depression, burnout, anxiety disorders, alcohol dependence, suicide, and other mental health outcomes. So stress can be serious and have serious impacts for health. So just so we're clear, what are the signs of stress? So you may be feeling overwhelmed, your thoughts may be racing, you may be having a hard time concentrating on tasks, you may be irritable, you may feel constantly worried, anxious, or scared, you feel a lack of self-confidence, or you have trouble sleeping, or you feel tired all the time, you avoid things or people you're having problems with, and you may be eating more or less than usual, or you may be drinking more than usual, or smoking more than usual. In the workplace, in an employee, people might be taking more time off, coming to work later, being nervous, having mood swings, not feeling motivated, and being increasingly tearful, sensitive, or aggressive. Whereas if you're working in a team, the team may have more arguments, higher staff turnover. More people might be telling you in the workplace that they're feeling stressed. There might be more people absent, and the performance might be decreased. So stress can affect us as individuals and the way that we interact with people in the world around us. But what does this mean to you? And that's what I hope that you can think about in today's session. So first, let's think about what causes you stress. So this image that I showed before are just some examples of the types of things that can cause people stress. So think about your own life. Is it your work environment? Is it concern about money and finances? For example, in the tourist industry, there are many people concerned about the way that this is going to impact their livelihood, the fact that coronavirus has become a pandemic. Is it the news that you're watching on TV that makes you feel more stressed and anxious? So think about your own individual self. And I want you to pay attention to your own feelings and your own needs. And not just today, but in the days to come. So think about you and how you're feeling and how your body reacts and feels and how your mind reacts and feels to the things around you. And what types of things lead you to feel stressful feelings? I'll give you an example of myself that my family, I'm sure, will recognize that I don't like to be late. So that means that if we are running to a meeting, we're running to an activity, I like to be on time, which means that I like to be early. And if I feel like time is rushed, I can actually feel those feelings of stress, anxiety, my heart racing, and it might make me more irritable towards the people around me. So it's something that I recognize in myself. I can feel the physical sensations, and I have to personally work on how I react in what is a stressful situation for me. So that's just one example, but I want you to think about the different things in your life that make you have feelings of stress. Because if you recognize it, then you have the opportunity to address it. So the American College of Lifestyle Medicine says recognizing the things in your life that cause distress are important because you can come up with a plan to manage it. And that's our hope, right? So we're talking today because there are some things that you can do to manage the stress in your life and the way that you feel about it. So how can we address stress? How do you at home that are watching this class or this video address your own stress? So we're going to talk first about two different things you can do. One is to make a goal, and two is to use some tested techniques. So let's talk about making a goal. So maybe in the past, you've talked to yourself internally or to other people about the things that you want to do to decrease the stress in your life. So maybe you said, I want to try a yoga class. Or maybe you said, I'm going to download a meditation app that I've heard is so helpful for other people. Or I'm going to use that free trial that they just sent me an email about. Or you tell yourself, I'm not going to get stressed when I have a dilemma coming. You have some motivating self-talk. So those types of goals or statements are sometimes harder to achieve. What is better is if you can think about making goals as SMART goals. So I'm going to tell you what that means. So SMART goals SMART is an acronym. So the first letter of the 5 words that are listed here spell out the word SMART. So the first one is being specific. What are you going to do to manage your stress? Are you going to take a yoga class? Are you going to exercise? Are you going to take a breathing break? And then M is for measurable. How much time are you going to do this? How many sessions of yoga are you going to do? How many minutes of breathing are you going to do? Is it achievable? Do you personally have internally and in your life what it takes to follow through? If you can't afford a yoga class, then maybe you might not be able to attend. Realistic. So what can you actually do? If in your work environment you don't have a lunch break, then maybe walking on your lunch break is not realistic for you. And also think about improvement over perfection. So we're talking about the rest of your life. We don't have to start all being perfect in everything today. That just adds stress and pressure to your own life. So think about how you can improve how you manage your own stress from today compared to tomorrow, from today compared to next week. And that's where having a time-based goal can help. So when are you going to start? When are you going to end? Are you going to try it for a week and then reassess and see how it goes? And how frequently are you going to do this? So let me give you some example of a SMART goal. So let's say starting next week on Monday, I decide I'm going to walk for 10 minutes during my lunch break for 3 days next week. So why is this a SMART goal? It's specific because I decided what I wanted to do. I said I wanted to walk, which is a form of exercise, and I know that exercise helps with stress. It's measurable because I said I'm going to do it 3 days for 10 minutes, so I can write down on my calendar if I did it. It's achievable. I know that I actually have 10 minutes to spare during my lunch break, so I know it's something that I can do. And I have no physical impediments that don't let me walk, so it's something that I can achieve. Is it realistic for me? So I decided I'm going to try it for the next week, and then I'm going to reassess. Now, I didn't say for the next year I'm going to walk for 10 minutes at 3 days a week. I said for the next week. And I have a start date. I didn't say someday I'm going to walk 10 minutes. I said starting on Monday. And then I said it have an end date, so it's 1 week. So this is a way to make your goal as clear as possible and make yourself more likely to achieve it. Let's give another example. For next week, starting on Monday, I will reserve 5 minutes on my calendar to use my meditation app on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So once again, specific because I decided to use a meditation app. Measurable because I said I was going to do it for 3 days on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I was only going to do it for 5 minutes each day. Achievable because I know 5 minutes on 3 days is something that I can do. And I'm going to put it on my calendar to make it more likely for it to happen. And realistic because I'm going to try it for 1 week and then see what happens. Time-based because I said I'll start Monday and I'll do it for a week. So this is a SMART goal. So this is better than saying I'm not going to stress out about my deadline. Instead, I'm making a plan. I'm going to start practice using my meditation app and include it in my routine so that I have it as a tool to utilize later on when I need it. And so that actually helps me during my daily life. So you have to think about what SMART goals seem right for you. It's not about me creating a goal for you or anybody else. It has to feel right for you. So think about the way that a SMART goal should be designed. And I'm going to give you in the next part of the talk some activities that you can try and try to incorporate them into a SMART goal for yourself. So I mentioned that we were going to talk about making goals, and the second part was using tested techniques. So there's some information out there in the literature about what are the things that you can do to manage stress. Now, first I'm going to mention that in order to think about stress, you also want to remember that stress is a part of lifestyle. I mentioned that in lifestyle medicine, there are 6 parts. So even though if you nourish your body, it doesn't mean it's going to make all your stress go away. It is all of the parts of lifestyle are tied. So just think about that. You also want to remember that you have to nourish your body. You have to get adequate sleep because not sleeping enough can affect your stress level, and being stressed can affect your sleep. If you connect with others or volunteer to help others, those are things that can help manage your stress. You can also participate in activities or hobbies that you enjoy, maybe something creative, something such as art, music, or dance. And you don't have to be the one doing the activity. Maybe you can watch the opera online, all these virtual activities that are free now during this COVID pandemic. And you can also try a positive activity like exercise instead of turning to things such as smoking or drinking when you're stressed. So there's evidence that exercise can help you manage stress and also help you with your issues with risky substances such as tobacco or alcohol. So this is where we're going to start getting to our 5 exercises. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is reflection. Second is breathing. Third is mindfulness. Fourth is physical activity. And the 5th is relaxation. So this is where you that are watching me today get to choose. I hope you will participate in this trial of each one of these 5 activities so that later on you can think about which one of these feels right for me. So it's just going to be a taste of each one of these activities. And these are resources that you're going to be able to see so that later on you can try them. So I didn't create them. They're available to you from other organizations on their websites. So first, let's talk about the importance of reflection. So reflection means thinking about, in this case, what are the things that are going well in your life? Because when you're stressed, that can be hard to remember. But it can also help you. Positivity is important. Try to improve your mood by looking at what's going well in your life. Focus on the things that have gone well, things you've accomplished. What are the things that you've overcome? Those can help you with your mind, with your mental well-being, as well as with your stress. So remember that one of the first things is what's internal in your brain, this mental talk that we give ourselves. So instead of putting yourself down and saying, I'm doing everything wrong, I'm so stressed, I can't accomplish anything, think about, hey, I managed to finish that document that I had to send today, despite all the stresses that I had. Or I managed to have this meeting in the middle of my busy life. I managed to have dinner, a healthy one, served for my family today, despite the fact that all of this healthy. So there's always something that you can think about. So just remember that positivity is important. So in the vein of positivity, there's that evidence and literature behind the fact that gratitude and reflection in relationship to gratitude has evidence of improvement in relationship to stress. So by this I mean that if you keep a journal or you write down things you're grateful for, this has been shown to have a powerful effect on mental well-being. And among other benefits, journaling about gratitude reduces stress, increases happiness, and improves self-esteem. So this is where I want you to start, please. Pull out that piece of paper and pen or pencil that I mentioned that you might want to have in front of you. So in the screen right now, there's a resource that you'll be able to access later that has some prompts and things for you to think about. So today is Wednesday. What are the things that you are grateful for today or in the past week if you can't think of something for today? For example, did you run into somebody whose company you enjoy, somebody who makes you happy? Did you see something beautiful when you were walking down the street? Did you watch somebody drop their notebook and somebody else pick it up? Did you have a nice laugh with somebody? Did you remember or think about somebody that you know you can always rely on? Did you do something that you feel proud of? Did you think about somebody who you admire? So these are all thoughts and experiences that if you think about and write them down right now in your journal or on your piece of paper, can make on the longer term affect your well-being and your feeling of stress. So how people do this is, for example, some people might decide that at the end of the day before they go to bed, they pull out a piece of paper, a journal, an app on their phone, the notepad on your telephone, whatever you like, and you write down one word or longer, or you write a whole journal entry about what you were grateful for today. So gratitude is important for well-being, and there's evidence and literature behind this. So this is to give you a little bit of opportunity if you're trying this exercise at home right now, so that you have a minute more or two to think about what you're grateful for. And I'm going to show you in a second here what my exercise was for today. So in Cyprus right now, spring has finished, summer has arrived. We're walking down the streets anywhere, basically on the sidewalks. You see these beautiful trees that if you're busy and stressed, you don't notice necessarily. But if you take the time and you look at the trees, you notice the beautiful flowers and fruits that are blooming. And that's what I was grateful for today, is the beauty of the flowers of the fruit-bearing trees that I see in Cyprus. And this is a photo of a pomegranate and a pomegranate flower. So it can be as simple as that. As I was walking down the street and I happened to look up, right? Instead of just focusing on the stressful situation that was going on in my brain, I looked at the beauty around me and that affected my mood. So think about gratitude. So that was the first exercise. The second exercise that we're going to talk about today is related to breathing. So I know you're breathing. Breathing is crucial. Obviously, we can't live without it. I know that you know to breathe in and to breathe out. But do we really focus on breathing and use it to its maximum purpose? Because not only does it allow us to live, but it can help us to affect how our mood and our feelings are if we use breathing properly. So this is where we're going to go into exercise 3, which is mindful breathing. So in the third exercise, we're going to talk more about mindfulness, but right now we're going to focus on breathing. So this exercise is one that I want you to later look at if you have the time. I recommend it. This is from Every Mind Matters, and it is called the Mindful Breathing Exercise, and it is on YouTube, so I highly recommend it. And I'm going to literally go through their exercise today with you because I want you to experience it. So this is not my exercise. This is from Every Mind Matters, but I want you to understand how breathing and focusing on breathing can help us with our stress. So this image is from the Every Mind Matters YouTube video. So I'm going to go through this exercise with you, and it will just take a couple of minutes, less than 2, I think. So bear with me and try to focus and concentrate on yourself. Take a nice quiet moment to be able to focus on it. So because we're often caught up in the demands of life, and it feels like we don't have time to stop. But becoming more aware of your own thoughts and feelings and what's around you and accepting the present moment can help improve your mental health and well-being. Doing this affects both the mental and the physical you. And some people call this being more mindful. Focusing on the present means paying attention to your thoughts and feelings right here, right now. And breathing exercises are a great way for us to focus on the present, to be more mindful, and these can help when you're feeling stressed and anxious. So this Every Mind Matters video that you can look at later is a short video that talks you through exactly what I'm telling you right now about how to do a mindful breathing exercise. So here we are. We're going to start. First, try to get yourself comfortable. If you're seating, try to get yourself as comfortable as possible. You can lie down if that's more comfortable for you. But when you're ready, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And keep on breathing naturally. In and out. And when you're breathing in and out, just keep on breathing. I want you to notice how the breath feels when it goes in your body. And how does the breath feel when it goes out your body? And while you're doing that, also think about relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your neck, and focus on your breathing, just on being aware of it, and just how your body feels when you're breathing. What sensations do you notice in your body? Are your feet on the floor? Do you feel them on the floor? Are you feeling the clothes on your skin? Is the shirt rubbing against your shoulders or your arms? So pay close attention to your physical sensations all the way from the top of your head down to your toes. And what are you thinking about? How are you feeling? Take the time to notice your thoughts and feelings, and do this without judgment. Just notice, are you feeling stressed, anxious, tired? However you're feeling, just notice it. And don't try to change it. So continue noticing your feelings, the way you're breathing, the way your body feels. And this is your breathing exercise. So when you're ready, take one more breath and try to bring your awareness of your body, of your feelings, of your thoughts. Try to bring it with you. And bring it to the rest of the presentation, but to the rest of your day. So breathing techniques like this one can help to center you in the moment at any time and connect you with the present. And this can help you if you're feeling stressed or anxious. So this breathing exercise is one that's recommended on the NHS website from the UK. And as I mentioned, it's directly from Every Mind Matters. And it's the mindful breathing exercise YouTube video. So that was our second exercise. We talked a little bit about mindful breathing, but now we're going to go into mindfulness and our third exercise. So mindfulness. Remember breathing exercise we just did, we talked about noticing the way our body feels, noticing the clothes on our body, noticing the way our feet feel on the floor, noticing our feelings and our thoughts. So it's something that you can take to your everyday life. So notice this as you're walking down the street. How does the street feel on the bottom of your shoes or your feet? How does the air feel as you're walking down the street? How does the sun feel as it hits your skin in the summertime? So noticing the sensations of things during your daily life, such as the sensations of the food you eat, of a new chair or a new shirt, or of the air moving around you. This is what it means to be mindful. So mindful about all these feelings and sensations, external to your body, internal to your body, and internal to your mind. So mindfulness can increase your awareness of the present moment. And it can help us enjoy the world around us more and understand ourselves better. It can help you think about things maybe that you've taken for granted, and it can allow you to stand back from your thoughts and your feelings and start recognizing patterns. And that's why you want to think about your thoughts and feelings and not judge them, not try to change them. You just want to understand them. So you just want to experience them. So being more aware of your thoughts can help you then better manage them and not become overwhelmed. Because if you don't understand what you're feeling, it's hard to manage it. So now we're going to go into a mindfulness exercise. And I'm giving you these as examples so that you can realize exercises that you can try on your own later to continue to use to manage stress, because as you mentioned, stress is a part of your life. But you can try it today and see what you think about it. But it's also by the end of today's session, hopefully you will be feeling more relaxed. So I hope that you can have some immediate effects from the exercise, but you can also then understand how your body and your mind reacts to these different types of exercises. So we did a mindful breathing exercise, and now we're going to do a mindfulness exercise. This is from ageuk.org. And what I want you to do is you can focus on this image, you can close your eyes. Like the exercise that we did before, you can sit straight up in a chair, but try to be relaxed. It helps if your chair has a back so that you don't have to stress your shoulders a bit. Try to sit, if you can, with your feet on the floor, and just remember to be aware of your surroundings before we start. If you can't, then be aware of your body. If you can't sit, then you can choose whatever position you like. You can lie down on a mat or on a blanket or on your bed. But try to find a position that's relaxing for you, that you can sit and try this mindfulness exercise. So this one I'm taking also directly from an exercise on the ageuk.org that's called a mindfulness exercise, and it's taken from Dr. Danny Penman's book, They Refer, and it's for beginners and doesn't require any. So I'm sitting straight up, and I have my feet on the floor. So close your eyes gently. We want you to focus your awareness on the breath as we did before. How does it flow in and out of your body? Feel again the sensations of the air as it flows in through your mouth or nose and down through your throat and into your lungs. And feel the expansion and subsiding of your chest and your belly as you breathe. Continue breathing in and out. And that while you're breathing, I want you to focus your awareness on where the sensations are strongest in your body. But while you're doing that, stay in contact with each breath in and each breath out. Are you feeling the strongest sensations in your feet, in your back? Just observe where you're feeling those sensations. And remember not to try to alter the way your body is feeling, unless obviously you're having any discomfort with physical discomfort. And don't expect anything special to happen. We're just concentrating on how our body feels. And remember that your mind can wander. But when it wanders, gently take it back to breathing in and out. And try not to criticize yourself when your mind wanders. Mind wander. It's what they do. The act of realizing that your mind has wandered and encouraging it to return to focus on the breath is central to the practice of mindfulness. With time, your mind will eventually become calm, or it may not. And if it becomes calm, then it may only be for a short time. Your mind may become filled with thoughts or emotions while you're breathing in and out. These emotions may feel like fear, anger, stress, happiness, love. But these emotions may also be fleeting. Regardless, whatever happens, just observe. Watch, observe as best as you can without reacting to your experience or trying to change anything. And gently, when you're ready, return your awareness back to the sensations of the breath, going in your body and out your body. And you can continue trying this exercise if you found it like something that fits well for you. So you can continue doing it longer. But if you are ready to continue on to the next exercise, you can gently open your eyes and take a moment to take in your surroundings. Become aware of the space around you, where you are, how your body feels now that you've finished the exercise. What are your thoughts and feelings? And when you're ready, you can join us for the next exercise, which is a slightly more active one because it's about physical activity, but it still will be about relaxation. So I mentioned before that exercise can help with stress. So when you're feeling stressed, you can choose to do something positive, such as physical activity, which we know helps your health, physical health, and your mental well-being. And physical activity does not only include exercise. Remember that there's strength training, there's stretching or working on your flexibility and balance. All of those are important parts of exercise. I mentioned before that we had a Pilates class with one of our community partners, Legacy Physio Health. And Pilates is a good example of how you can work on many of these different aspects of physical activity with one form of exercise. Because we know that there are exercises and physical activity in its many forms is something that we can all incorporate better into our lives, especially when we're talking about stress management. It's one of the key tools I want you to think about how you can utilize. So I've mentioned Pilates. Yoga, which I mentioned before that we had some classes before about, is also a great way to think about physical activity, particularly in relationship to stress. So there is at the nhs.uk website, on the Live Well part of this website, there are guides to yoga as well as free yoga classes that you can participate in after you finish watching this video. And I would encourage you to take a look at those exercises, but also any form of physical activity that you can do. So the more the better. Just be safe for your body. Talk to your healthcare professional if you need to. They're recommended 150 minutes of physical activity for adults each week. And many of us are not getting the amount of moderate physical activity that we need. So if you do vigorous physical activity, you need a slightly less number of minutes, but when you look at the nhs.uk Live Well website, they give you the information. So that's why I'm recommending this website. It will give you all the details. What we're going to try today is one of our exercises. So exercise that allows us through yoga, positions and exercises to release tension in your ligaments And it's a seated yoga routine. So that's where having a chair will come in handy. So in the exercise that we're going to do next, I want you to think about performing each move slowly and smoothly. And remember to use those breathing exercises that we thought about before to make sure that you're breathing deeply and regularly. And this is where it will also be important to keep an awareness of your surrounding, of how your body's feeling. So only participate in the amount of the exercise that you feel is appropriate for you and your body. You know your body best. But I'm hoping that you can think about this exercise not only right now, or when you're feeling stressed, but also when you're at work or when you've been sitting for a while, because we know that inactivity poses some health risks in and of itself. So if you've been sitting for 8 hours a day, we know that it's associated with some health outcomes that are negative. So sitting a long time can affect your health in a negative way. So I want to encourage you right now, as we're talking, to stand up and stretch if you need to, but we're also going to do a seated yoga exercise. So this resource is from the website that's listed at the bottom of the screen, but we will go through these exercises one by one. You won't be able to see my full body doing it, but you will be able to see the image and just try the exercises safely, and we'll start with number one. So number one, you see the person on the left-hand upper section of the images. It's called a body fold. So right now I'm sitting up, and I wasn't sitting up straight. But if you were sitting up, all you want to do is fold down your body. So your head, your neck, just gently, don't force it. And we're going to breathe while we're doing this, and do this for about 10 seconds. In and out. And remember to keep on breathing. In and out. And when you're ready, just lift your head up, your hands are in your lap. We're going to flow into the second exercise. So we started with the body fold, and now we're going to take our arms and just lift them up as far above your head as you can without causing any discomfort. Then look up as far as you can without causing any discomfort. And we're going to stay here for about 10 to 15 seconds. And want you to keep on breathing in and out. And in and out. So from there, we're going to flow into exercise number 3, which is an alternating side stretch. So bring your head to this neutral position where you're facing forward. I'm putting my right arm down. I'm taking my left arm, and I'm just stretching my side a little bit. Once again, don't force it. Don't do anything that causes pain. You just want a little stretch in your left side. And you're going to breathe in and out. Remember not to hold your breath. Just keep on breathing in slowly and let it out slowly. And we are going to switch arms. So just bring your left arm down. And you can bring your right arm up while putting your left arm between your head and just stretch your side. And remember not to hold your breath. Breathe in and out. And out. So we are going to move from exercise number 3, just moving your arms down, like here. This position may be slightly unusual for you if you haven't done it before. But I want you to make sure that your legs are in a comfortable position, as better as possible. But if it hurts, don't put them together. And you can start by putting your hands together and your elbows together. If you feel like you want to try the next step, all you want to do is cross your elbows, like I'm doing right now. And if you can do this, where the next third step is you cross your hands, then go ahead and try. But if that's too much, I'm going to go to this third position here, and all you want to do is keep on breathing. Don't forget to breathe in and out. In and out. And you just want to switch sides, or you want to come back to the center position. That's where you were trying. So just cross the other elbow and cross your arms. And you may feel like one side is slightly more comfortable than the other one. Just notice how your body's feeling while you're doing this. Remember to be mindful while you're doing this exercise. But remember to breathe too. Breathe in and out. And remember to breathe in and out. Remember not to force any of these exercises. This is what you can do that's most comfortable, or even if putting your hands on your knees is what you can do, just make sure that you do what your body feels like it can do. So in step number 5, we're going to alternate lift and reach. So I am going to lift my left arm first, just straight ahead, perpendicular to the floor, and I'm going to lift my right knee. So if you have any back or knee problems, if you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to do both of them at the same time. You can just do your arm. But I'm going to lift and we're going to hold for 10 seconds while we're breathing. Don't hold your breath. Breathe in and out. And then we're going to alternate. So I'm going to lift my right arm up now, just straight ahead, and then I'm going to lift my left knee. And we're going to do this for 10 seconds. So remember to breathe. Remember only to do what your body can handle. Breathe in and out. Okay. And then 6th position. Also, you want to be mindful if you have back or knee problems, not to try this position if it feels uncomfortable. But for those of you that can, the 6th position is alternating half lotus, which is where you can put your left knee on your left foot on top of your right knee and hold. This might feel uncomfortable for those of you that haven't tried something like this before. So if it feels uncomfortable, you can't lift your leg, it's too much stretching, then just put your feet on the floor and concentrate on your breathing. But for those of you that can, remember to breathe in and one more in. And now we're going to switch. And for those of you that just have your feet on the floor and your hands on your knees, then that's as far as we're going today with this movement. Remember to focus on how your body's feeling. And the rest of you, make sure that you put your knee, your right foot on your left knee, and don't try to force it. Make sure that you're not feeling any pain, so that you're not doing any moves that's causing discomfort. So remember to breathe. Breathe in. And this exercise you can do in 1 minute. You can choose which of the 6 exercises you want to do. You can do the whole routine. If you would take as long as you like, and it's a way for you to de-stress, but it's also a way for you to add activity into what may be an inactive state. So this was the seated yoga exercise. So now we're going to show you the 5th and our last technique for today. So some of these may feel similar. This one is slightly different. They're all ways for you to think about relaxation and stress management. So this one is called progressive muscle relaxation, and it involves stretching different muscles, contracting them, and then relaxing them. And this is to help you release the tension from your body and help you relax your mind. So these are the references for this exercise. It's from NAS in the UK. There's a handout called a Progressive Muscle Relaxation handout, and I'm going to read it to you now. And there's a video action that you can look at later. But I'm going to put this screen on here, and I'm going to talk you through this exercise. So remember, this is our last exercise from today, and I'm hoping that after these 5 exercises, if you tried them, that you're feeling some measure of how you can use these tools for stress relief and stress management. Because it's not always about relieving your stress, it's about learning how to manage stress when you have it. So progressive muscle relaxation is a relaxation technique which involves stretching different muscles in turn and relaxing them. And you can do this for 15 to 20 minutes. Today we're not going to take that long, but just find a quiet space, get comfortable sitting or lying down, and you're going to close your eyes again. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in and out steadily. And what you're going to do is you're going to focus on the different muscles of your body. So if there are certain muscles that have pain, then don't focus on those today. And try to learn what your body feels, the differences between tight and relaxed muscles. It's part of getting to know your own body. So focus on how your muscles change from tight to relaxed. So start with your forehead. Pull your eyebrows together, and then feel the tension that happens when you put your eyebrows together. And then gradually let your forehead smooth. Squint your eyes, and then relax. Try scrunching your eyes closed, and then open and relax. Let them get really heavy. When you're ready, try to let your jaw get heavy. Open your mouth wide to release it, and then clench it. And then go to your shoulders, crunch them up, and hold them, and let them relax. Clench your hands and your fists, and relax. Do the same for your arms and your tummy, and relax. Tighten your thighs and your calves and your feet, and relax the tension. So we just did a very brief version of this progressive muscle relaxation, but if you take 15 to 20 minutes, you'll start to learn what your body feels like when it's relaxed. So that can help you when you're feeling stressed. You'll notice the difference, and you can go through parts of this or this whole exercise to help yourself feel relaxed. So I'm going to just add a couple more resources in the last 5 minutes that we have left tonight to help add, but these are not exercises. I'm just going to give you some information. So remember we talked about positivity. There's something related to this where you want to reframe unhelpful thinking. It's actually not helpful to focus on things that can't be changed. That's what tends to happen to us, some of us, when we stress, is we're focusing on things like the weather and how it messed up our party. And what can we do? We can't change the weather, right? So it isn't helpful for us internally to focus on things that we can't change. So sometimes when we're stressed, we want to look at things in a different way. When I look at this situation differently. So internally, sometimes we have a dialogue that is not helpful. And these thoughts can add to our stress and frustration. Sometimes you might be telling yourself, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I always do the wrong thing. Those types of thoughts can lead to stress. So when you're having unhelpful thoughts, there's some steps listed here, and there's an NHS unhelpful thinking audio that will talk you through how you acknowledge the fact that this is a thought, let it exist, and focus on what you're doing in the moment, but don't judge yourself. And think about what would a good friend or a good family member tell you about this moment. And you can also think about would somebody that knows how to handle things very well do in that moment. So this exercise is something that you can refer to later. It's an audio exercise to help you think about how to handle unhelpful thoughts. And by handling them, I mean recognizing them and learning to be in the moment. And that helps you manage your stress and frustration. So I want to mention meditation briefly and point out that the NHS also has a bedtime meditation video that I'm listing here. And remember, this video will be recorded so that you can access all these links later at your convenience. You can just pause the video later after it's uploaded, which will be done after this presentation finishes. So meditation is something else to consider. And know that there are many virtual platforms that can help assist you in your goal to manage your stress. I will just point out one. I've mentioned the NHS in the UK has this Get Your Mind plan where it's a quiz. There's just 5 quick questions, and it gives you your own personal plan with tips to help you deal with stress and anxiety, improve your sleep, and boost your mood and feel more in control. So they give you exercises. So I would recommend this one if you like to use virtual platforms. And I will also mention that, as I said before, we've been having classes at the University of Nicosia to help you lead a lifestyle that is healthy. So this is the web page related to coronavirus and the healthy living activities that are related to it. In addition, we also have some handouts as well as some posts that you can see here that have information about other aspects of lifestyle besides stress, because we talked about how they're all related. So remember that you can find resources online at the University of Nicosia, in the medical school, and in the other departments. And remember to think about how nutrition, physical activity, sleep, social connection, and substance use are all important aspects of lifestyle besides stress and stress management. So in summary, I want you to think about how your feelings and your thoughts affect how you feel. So what are the things that cause you stress? And think about techniques, either some of the ones that I've mentioned today or others that feel right for you. And you can start with one or more than one, but it can be helpful to start small. So think about creating a SMART goal. Remember that you want to use the examples, and you can refer to this video so that you create something that you'll be more likely to achieve. And that will be more likely to help you with your stress. So start small. Maybe start thinking about what you want to try tomorrow or Monday, and just try it for a week. See what happens, and if you find obstacles, don't judge yourself. Just acknowledge the obstacles and think about what are the ways that you might adjust your plan to overcome them. So you can use several tools. You don't have to perfect just one technique, because you may want to build a whole toolbox worth of techniques. There are many forms of stress, and so the bigger your toolbox, sometimes it can be the better. Because we know that there are a bunch of stressful situations that are just part of life, not just coronavirus. The rest of our life can have stress in it too, and stress can affect your health. So you want to do what you can to live as healthy a life as possible. Also remember that if you need help, seek help from your family, from your friends, from your work co-workers, from your leadership at work if your stress is work-related, or a healthcare professional, a physician, a counselor, a social worker. Just remember that there are people out there that can help you if you need it. And remember, the whole purpose of this is health and wellness in our lifestyle so that we can enjoy our lives. Right now it's summertime. You can see many children like this one that I know who are just filled with joy, not a worry, no stress in that moment in this picture. And that's how we want to be able to experience life. We know that won't be all the time, but we want to be as much as possible able to manage our stress so that we can really have as full of a life experience as we can. So this is the end of today's presentation. Thank you so much for joining me in this conversation today. I hope you heard some tools that will be able to help you in filling that stress management toolbox. And I wish you a wonderful experience for the rest of the evening, and I hope you stay well. Thank you very much.